Alright guys, back for more Last of Us Remastered, PS5, New Game Plus. Also, I loaded up the game and it put me back here, because apparently that's where it checkpointed for some reason.
Stay, Callus. What kind of name is Callus anyways?
Not my fault you forgot to ask Tommy his name.
Callus. Scoot back.
Okay. None of these buildings look like a mirror to me.
Well, we'll head to Central Grounds. Should be able to see most of the campus from there.
I'll stay with Callus.
I hate that name.
Ooh. There's the flamethrower.
Time to go to work.
And yep, that was the last thing I needed for these shits for upgrading. I don't need to upgrade anything in that for now. I literally only have 3 weapons that need to be upgraded with anything. Okay.
This'll hold.
And I only have to get 200 more, I guess, pills for Weapon Sway and Shiv Master. Oh, interesting. Huh.
Alright,
that
let's
was
do
a
this.
gear that I picked up, right? Yeah. Here we go.
Well, there we go.
Alright, so go upstairs now. Let me swap. Myself tonight, 'cause I don't think I can make it through the night.
So, these places, people would live here and just study, even though they were all grown up?
Study, party, and find themselves. Figure out what they wanted to do with their lives.
What they wanted to do with their lives.
There was a lookout here.
That's a good sign.
Okay. I hate Twitter. I'm sorry, just before I start recording this, I hate Twitter. I hate the stupid people on Twitter mainly, who genuinely have no idea what the fuck they're talking about when it comes to anything. Which unfortunately is most of Twitter. So yeah. That was what I was wanting. Yeah, like, this may come off sounding bad, but don't think that, like...
I'll be right back.
Don't think I'm coming at it with, like,
How many people do you think are there? Fireflies, I mean.
bad intentions or
Reckon
anything.
it takes quite a crew to run that operation.
Do you think there'll be other people my age?
I'm not sure.
But, so there's the Percy Jackson Disney Plus series that's currently in pre-production right now. And they're doing casting calls and shit like that. And last night was like the first time I've...
Sounds like runners.
Stay with the horse. I'll get you there. Yes, I don't want him running off. I'll be right back.
I've ever seen someone try to argue that Annabeth from that series should be black.
Looks like someone jerry-rigged this thing. No juice.
And, like...
See if I can get the power back on.
First of all, I don't necessarily have a problem with them casting a black actress to play Annabeth if that's what the people behind the show want to go for. But here's the thing with doing that. It would be a change from the books because Annabeth is white. Like, you can't argue that because in the books, she stated to be blonde. And official artwork for the books has her drawn as white. And here's the thing, Riordan himself had to approve of that shit because he was the author and he gets final say, I'm pretty sure. I would assume at least. Like,
That's that.
it's the same shit with like J.K. Rowling and here's also the thing. I don't give a fuck that Rick Riordan himself said that it doesn't matter what they cast for any of the characters, but here's also the thing. It just wouldn't be as accurate to the book as people would think it would be. I don't know. It would be a change from the book, is all I'm saying. And if that doesn't bother people, great. At the end of the day, if the actress is good and believable, and they write the character well, and they give her good direction, whatever. At the end of the day, if the actress can give a good performance, and it's written and directed well, whatever. The thing about it, though, is that it would be a change. My stance on this, though, is that it would be a change from the books. And in my opinion, it's better to give a faithful adaptation of source material of something than to push an agenda or, like, or to race swap a character, you know? That's my argument there. It would be a race swap. Most of the time I find race swapping characters to just be needless or pointless. And or unneeded.
Hey, I was thinking I would have wanted to be an astronaut.
That a fact.
Yeah. Can you imagine being up there all by yourself? Would have been cool.
Oh, so that's what that
What'd you
part
think?
of Last of Us 2 was
When I was a
referencing. That's
kid, I
nice.
used to want to be a singer.
Shut up.
No serious.
Sing something.
No,
Come on, I won't laugh.
I don't think so.
Joel, please.
But, yeah, it's my opinion that when you're adapting a book or something to another medium, like a TV series or a movie, to a visual medium, basically,
Aw, are those monkeys?
Yeah, a whole mess of them.
It shouldn't be like it shouldn't be a priority to just have diversity for the sake of it. It should be the priority of the adapters to make a pretty as what is it? As good of an adaptation as possible. As loyal to the books as you can get. I don't know. Like, it's stupid. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck, but at the same time, it's just, I don't know. My, the side of my brain that just wants, like, accuracy in adaptations and everything is conflicting with the side that says, oh, it wouldn't be that bad. It's really fucking stupid. But the stupid thing about this is the people that, like, responded to some shit I said on Twitter about that, were literally, I was just saying, it should be the job of the people adapting the books to the series to give us an accurate adaptation. For one person, pretty much, there were a bunch of quote tweets, I think, from people trying to ratio me. I don't give a fuck about ratios, realistically. But, the people that were trying to ratio me were fucking hilarious to me. Because one person said that, when people can acknowledge that, blonde doesn't automatically mean white, we'll be better off, or we'll progress as a species. Annabeth is established in the books to be naturally blonde. I don't believe she has ever had a different hair color in the series that is natural to her. And it was a thing with the movies that some people pointed out that the actress playing Annabeth in those movies was not blonde. They didn't even try to dye her hair blonde in the first Percy Jackson movie. It is a thing that they fixed in Sea of Monsters by having the actress dye her hair blonde. Granted, it's the wrong shade of blonde, but they still did it. You see what I mean? When it was pointed out by people who were, pointing out, or who had pointed out that Annabeth was blonde,
Should we have seen someone by now?
they changed it.
Maybe these guys like to keep.
In the first movie, Annabeth was shown as a brunette.
Maybe.
In Sea of Monsters, she's shown to be blonde, because that in the books is her hair color. Okay? I'm just pointing that out right now. So, basically,
Hey, look. Firefly.
if they cast her with a black actress,
All right, let's try that gate.
like, first of all,
Watch yourself.
You too.
like I said, if the acting, writing, and direction is good, it'll override the accuracy parts of my brain, I think. Because like, at the same time, like, we have, my favorite example of this is Michelle Jones in Spider-Man, the MCU Spider-Man. She was in Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home. And she is technically an adaptation of Mary Jane Watson from the comics and the other adaptations. Mary Jane is a white chick with red hair. Okay? But for Michelle, they decided to cast Zendaya. And Zendaya is black. The thing about Zendaya's character, though, is that while she is a version of Mary Jane, they changed her first and middle name. So while she has the same last name, she is not wholly supposed to be the same as Mary Jane. Like, there's a good middle ground, I feel, with the fact that she's a version of Mary Jane, but not at the same time. I feel like that's a good middle ground to go with when you're trying to either make new characters or change the race of a pre-established character in the source material, you know? And I'd rather that, or they invent new characters, than to change the races of pre-established characters from the source material. Feel me? Like, that's my stance on it. It's like, you might as well just make a new character, because it's, in my opinion, really stupid and or pointless to change the race of a pre-established character. Unless, of course, we have had a million adaptations so far, or a bunch of adaptations so far, and you're doing it to differentiate. I don't know. Percy Jackson has never had a good adaptation to screen, and I'm hoping that the Disney Plus series is going to be that. And I want it to be that. Because, like, Percy Jackson as a series is a really good fucking, like, book series. And, like, I just want it to be good before we start thinking about, like, racial politics and shit like that. It's really fucking dumb. And I know it's like a slippery slope or something to start like talking about this shit, but like some people are really fucking dumb. And yeah, the fucking chick who was just like, you white Annabeth truthers. First of all, that's fucking hilarious to me that someone would say white Annabeth truther. Because, for one, I already said that Annabeth is white in the books. Like, can we just acknowledge that and just not try and, like, say someone's wrong for thinking Annabeth's white when she is? Read the fucking books. Look at the fucking official art that they use for the books, the comics, whatever the fuck else. Anyways, so, yeah, but then the that shit to me comes off like someone's trying to make it sound crazy, like it's a fucking, like I'm a fucking flat earther or some shit. Which is fucking rich, because flat earthers are just vehemently wrong about that shit all the fucking time. And they're stupid, but they don't want to acknowledge that they're stupid and wrong. Because they want to be different and shit like that. I don't know, it's really fucking dumb. I just personally think that, yeah, the people behind the series have, their job is to make it a good TV show. They, I don't know. Unless if, like, I don't know. If a character in the books is established to be black as well, they shouldn't cast a white person or someone of a different ethnicity to play that character. Like, if they do, then it's problematic. I don't know. Is it not just as problematic to cast like a black person or a person that's not white to play a white, what is originally a white character, than it is to cast a non-white actor to play someone who was originally white? I don't know. Or, no, I said that wrong. Is it not like, is it not, like, just as problematic to cast someone who is not white to play a character who was white in the original source material than it would be to cast someone who is white to play what was originally a non-white character? I honestly just pose that question. Because, realistically, if you want non-white characters, you should make the characters not white in the first place. And I like Rick Riordan. I like him as an author. I like him as a writer. And I think that he's a good person. But it clearly was not his original intention for Annabeth to be anything other than white. If it was supposed to be his intention, or if that was supposed to be the intention, or was supposed to be the intention, Annabeth could be any race, you know, he should have established that in the books, or he should not have, like, given identifying features to Annabeth. It's really fucking dumb. Like, I don't know. As far as I can tell as well, as it goes along, Percy Jackson starts to be more diverse. Like, there's like, I don't know. There's characters of other gender identities, I believe, and sexual orientations than just cis and straight that get introduced. I think, yeah, Nico, I believe, is gay. And then I believe there's a trans character that gets introduced in Heroes of Olympus from what I have read about them. I have the books. I need to read. I've only read up to Titan's Curse when it comes to Percy Jackson. I know what happens in the first Heroes of Olympus, but I have unfortunately not read all of the Heroes of Olympus books, or the last two Percy Jackson books.
I'm fine.
And I need to read the rest of them, and I am going to before the series comes out. But yeah. Oh, it's just really fucking dumb to me. This is like, yeah, and, secondly, yeah, the chick I already mentioned that said, the stuff about, blonde doesn't equal white. It's like, Annabeth in the first book, by the way, I think this is either established in the first book or the second book, or maybe both. Annabeth is about 11, maybe 12 at best. Most people who are not teenagers generally don't dye their hair. So Annabeth's hair is naturally blonde. Making the argument otherwise just shows you don't understand how genetics work, or you're just fucking stupid.
No, I don't think so.
Why would they have infected so close to the lab?
Well, Bill used them as a form of defense. Maybe they're doing the same.
Yeah, I could see that.
And, I use this example. Like, if you don't know how genetics work, generally, brunette hair, like black, brown, whatever, colored hair, is a dominant trait. Blonde hair is a recessive trait. And then on top of that, like, very rarely do you see a non-white person or a person who is at least not partially white or mostly white with blonde hair. That is a genetic abnormality, if you do.
Yeah, I'd expect to see someone.
And then
by
most of
now.
the time, when you do see, like, for instance, maybe a black person with white hair, generally that happens to everyone when they get older. Their hair starts to gray, turn white or silver, stuff like that. Because hair naturally loses whatever the fuck in your follicles that keeps it a dark color over time. Hell, even blonde people lose that as well over time. And I really, really don't fucking know. Like, for instance, my mom, her sisters, my grandma,
One of these?
her mom,
What, university?
or their mom,
Yeah.
and
No, not as a student, at least.
Why not?
and my brother
I had Sarah when I
are
was
all
pretty
blonde.
young.
My father,
For a while.
What happened?
I know my uncle on his side,
So much?
and
Too much.
I believe my aunt, their sister, well, I could be wrong. I believe, I didn't even know that would give me a trophy. Nice. I believe they all had brown hair. I know my dad had, like, brown to black hair. But my brother could have easily have had black hair or brown hair if the genes worked that way. Hell, when I was a kid, or when I was a baby, actually, to a toddler, before the age of, like, 5, I had blonde hair until, and I have baby pictures to prove this, I had blonde hair until around when I turned, like, 4 or 5, and then it turned
I
brown.
had mine, but it'll do.
You know? Like, this is just how genetics work. And I don't know any other race besides white people. Or Caucasians or whatever the fuck. Basically Eastern European, like, white people. Or descended white people. That have blonde hair. It just... I don't understand people's arguments. Like, make better arguments if you want people to side with you for certain shit. Don't be a fucking idiot. It's really fucking dumb. Oh, I think I know what to do. Yeah, some people genuinely just have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And they need to stop being fucking dumb. And on top of that, acknowledge that Annabeth is fucking, like, white in the fucking books. Literally, it's not racist or bad to do so, and it's not racist or bad to acknowledge that if they make her black, it would be a change from the books. Like, it's been... I thought it was generally accepted in the Percy Jackson, like...
Alright, we're inside.
Fandom and whatever the fuck else that Annabeth has, or is white for the last 17 years since the first book came out, and, like... You know, she's established as being blonde from the fucking get-go, so I don't understand how people can be this stupid. Like, I have loved Percy Jackson since I first read it. I think I first read the first book in, like, 2010. Or 2011. When I was 15, 16 years old. So... Or 14, 15 years old. And I have loved the books every time, or the first book, mainly. Though I've also read the second book a couple times. Every time I reread them.
Time to go.
And I think the books get better as they go along as well. So I don't know. Just don't bullshit me. Genuinely, don't bullshit me if you're trying to argue with me. You're fucking dumb if you try to bullshit me. Just don't be a fucking idiot. That's my best, like, advice when it comes to basically any kind of, like, thing that you can do for arguments. Don't be a fucking idiot.
This should help us out.
And make good arguments. Can't wait for people to use that to try and cancel me when I become internet famous. That's gonna be fun to deal with. And by that I mean a pain in the ass, but I don't think I'll really... I have my counter-arguments. And, like, I try to word things in a way that, like... I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, kind of thing, you know? It's really fucking dumb. People just honestly need to be... or need to stop being so fucking dumb. Like, make coherent and good arguments. And don't be stupid about how you say and do things. Just say, hey, I would love to see this kind of diversity be put into this piece of media. Okay. How are you gonna do that? Like I said, I personally...
Fireflies! Here for mankind over here. Anyone?
Let's keep it down until we figure out what's going on.
Or, like I said, I personally don't like race swapping of any kind, really. It's like, it's like, as well, I in a Twitter thread the night before, I'm recording this, cited the live-action Death Note movie. The live-action Death Note movie is terrible, mostly because they, like, really tried to Americanize the concept, and they really tried to, they changed everybody's ethnicities as a result of that. Like, very few people in that movie, the Netflix one, by the way, not any of the Japanese movies, everyone in those... or in that movie, is white. And I'm not necessarily saying that that's bad, but the thing about Death Note is it's a very Japanese concept, and it's a thing that works better if your shit is set in Japan, if you're trying to retell the original story. The thing about, and the thing about that as well is they try to keep Light's name intact, and try to explain it as his mom was a hippie. But it makes more sense for Light to come from a Japanese family or culture than it would be to explain it that way, because, like, Japanese people, like, use, they use, like, things like, words that are attributed to non-person things, like inanimate objects and shit, to people all the time. Like, an example I remember from several years ago is, for Shuriken Sentai Ninja, the 30s...
That looks good.
39th? Or 40th? Whatever the fuck number it was. Super Sentai series. I think it was the 39th. I think. Anyways. So, for that, series, they have a character named Yakumo. Yakumo translates to the word cloud. And his mother had the nickname for him as being the English word cloud. So essentially she's calling him a different language translated version of his name. So, yeah, and that
Useful.
would be
A
weird
bunch of medical mumbo jumbo.
in a place like America.
I don't get it.
Looks like they all just packed up and left in a hurry.
Which is why if you
Maybe not all
hear
of them.
someone's name being something like that, like if someone's name in America, or even a different, like, Western country, were named Cloud, or if that was a nickname or something of that person, you would automatically assume that their parents, or at least one of their parents, were hippies of some kind. Which is why they went with that explanation as to why Light's name is as it is in the Netflix Death Note movie. Because you would hear that name and it would sound weird to you. You know? Which is why in the Death Note anime and the manga, you don't necessarily question it, because that's just a thing within Japanese culture, and people come to expect that, or, like, be accustomed to that. It's also like, my favorite Super Sentai series, Gokaiger, they named the Red Ranger in that series as
There are no bodies.
Captain
That's good,
Marvelous.
We found out where they went.
Marvelous is not usually a name that people use. And that's why in my fix fic for Power Rangers Super Mega Force, which you can read on my Archive of Our Own and fanfic.net accounts if you want to read it. I'm going to try and get back to it soon. If I haven't already by the time you see this video. I kind of kept a lot of the characters' names intact for the main characters. Partially out of laziness, partially because I just wanted to. And that's not, it's not like there's not not preference, a thing like that in Power Rangers already, because they kept, in Samurai they kept Lauren and Jaden's last name Shiba, which was the last name of their Sentai counterparts from Shinkenger. But, yeah, I might go back and, like, revise that after I'm done. As, like, a V2 version of it. But we'll see. We'll see what I end up deciding to do. Anyways, so, yeah, I had to explain that away as just, like, an alien language translation thing. You know? Because otherwise, that would be weird. And considering the characters are, oh. Tape recorders don't play. I guess Spider-Man spoiled me with that shit. Anyways, yeah, it's just really, really fucking weird. To have conversations like this is also weird, especially if you get into arguments with shitheads that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, or they want to just be morally superior, so they accuse you of racism and shit. I don't know. Can't wait for that to happen though. When I try to be canceled through unintended racism by saying that, you know, adapters should keep like to the spirit and everything of the books and keep the plots and characterizations and everything intact, as well as shouldn't be hung up about like casting for the sake of diversity. I don't know. When you get caught up in that, I don't know. And then on top of that, what would Annabeth being black really solve? What would her being Asian or Hispanic or whatever the fuck? What would that fucking like add to the story? I genuinely would love to know. I don't know. I just remember as well, what was it? There was an announcement a while ago of Velma from Scooby-Doo being cast with an Asian actress, I believe, for an upcoming adaptation. I forget what adaptation that is. It's not like Velma hasn't been casted with an Asian actress before. I forget her name, but the actress who played her in the 2 prequel live-action movies, The Mystery Begins and Curse of the Lake Monster, is Asian. And I don't know, so it's not like that hasn't been done before. At the same time, though, it's like I really don't know in regards to if that's necessarily a great idea. I don't know, because Velma's the smart one of the group, and she's like, I don't know, she seems to be kind of socially awkward and shit like that. I don't know, just seems a little stereotypical to me for the smart one of the group to be Asian.
Jesus.
Those monkeys don't look good at all.
At least it ain't clickers.
Well, maybe in all that research, they turned into fucking monkeys.
Just keep searching, we'll find something.
Like, to me, it's all generally pretty confusing and stupid to really think about these things. I don't know. Just be glad, by the way, that I'm not a fucking reactionary or conservative by any means in regards to social conservatism, because I don't align myself with that shit. I don't. A lot of conservatives are really fucking dumb, and I don't really want to be associated with that kind of shit. But be thankful my main channel isn't focused on that kind of content, because that shit would be ripe to do anti-SJW shit on. Like, genuinely, if this were like 6 years ago, 6 to 7 years ago, back in 2015, 2016, with that kind of shit on YouTube, I could start a fucking reactionary channel and just in an anti-SJW channel, and I would make fucking bank just off of one video with that shit. Clickbait enough of a title, clickbait enough of a thumbnail, and if I word shit right, I could make fucking bank off that shit. If I did that. You know?
You're looking for the Fireflies. They've all left.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm dead. Or I will be soon. Got me some time to reflect. Been years that felt like we were... Fucking thing was a giant waste of time. I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Come on.
Looking for the others. They've all returned to St. Mary's Hospital in Salt Lake City. You'll find them there. Still trying to save the world. Good luck with that.
Do you know where that is?
I know the city.
Is it far?
It ain't close. Horseback.
What? Fireflies?
Get down!
Oh! What the fuck are these guys?
It don't matter. We know where to go. Let's get the hell out of here.
Alright, 1 second. Okay.
Come on. Show yourself. What you got me?
But yeah, just be thankful I'm not like a reactionary type or an anti-SJW, because holy shit. You could genuinely just make a lot of money just appealing to that kind of dumb fuck mindset that those people have. I Where in the fuck? Oh. Yeah, I'm glad to be out of my fucking anti-SJW phase. I'm never going back to that shit. Now, Ellie, if you could come in and knife this guy. Oh. Oh.
What do you want me to do? What?
need you to pull.
Okay. Right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Here.
Oh, Jesus. I'm just glad that the graphics are not as good as the second games.
Let's go.
Oh god, the remake's gonna make this all fucking gory.
I'm fine.
Can you handle the window?
Yeah.
They did in the second. They had fucking Abby bite off 2 of Ellie's fingers in the second game. And had her fucking, like, bleeding from those wounds where her fingers were missing.
Ellie. Those were my friends you killed, asshole. You want to do this the hard way?
We gotta get you out of here.
I'm okay.
You're not okay, Joel. Now come on. Move it.
There's no one here.
Hurry. You're doing good. Just keep at it.
Oh man.
Here, lean on me.
No.
Well, can you walk?
Yes.
Then fucking walk.
Tough love. Love it.
Come on. There's the exit.
Just a little bit more, come on.
Hey. Joel?
Behind you.
What?
Ellie. No. The kid's got a gun.
Back.
He's got a gun.
Shit.
Shit.
Ooh.
Joel. Here, stand up. Put your arm around me.
All right, let's go.
I swear to God, I get you out of this. You're still singing for me.
You wish.
Wait here. I'll get the door.
Take your time.
Come on.
And I can't get
There you go.
Fuck. Oh, shit.
Come on.
Just get the horse.
All right.
Can you get on?
Come.
I think we're safe. Joel? Joel? Shit. Joel, here. Oh, get up, get up, get up. You gotta tell me what to do. Come on. You gotta get up. Joel? This won't last very long. You'll just startle it.
Okay.
Where'd you go?
Alright guys, gonna pause here and continue in the next one.